Well, hello there, partner. Go on and hang up your hat, grab yourself a whiskey, and pull up in the easy chair. We're coming off the range of 9 to 5s with a whole herd of news stories that we've been steaming over like a cow patty in the Texas heat. As they say, the chickens are finally coming home to roost. And we're here to ruffle some feathers and ensure accountability ain't just a concept, it's reality. It's that time where the day's drama casts its longest shadow. So let's light a candle to the chaos of current events, the whirlwind of politics, and the tangled webs of corruption that we find ourselves entwined by. It's time to ramble our way into the twilight. Welcome to Sunset Rants.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh.
I do love that intro, man. Hey.
Howdy, partners. Welcome to Sunset Rants, where we catch you up with the breaking news headlines and posts to get you caught up with Sunset. I'm like, hey, your favorite guy, and tonight we're going to play a game of effery or outrage. All right, let's break out of it. Yes, well, we're going to figure out which way the states are going to swing and find out once and for all who's going to win the 2024 presidential election. Also tonight, the audience gets to play along.
Yeah.
Right. If you're on my YouTube...
I hope you figured out how that's going to work, because I still haven't.
Fuck it, we do it live. All right. So also tonight, so we got the audience is going to play along. So if you're on my YouTube or X chat, we'll be asking you in the audience to help us decide which states are going to win. But first, we got the lovely, the beautiful Elizabeth. What's up?
What up, everybody? Hey, Roma. Hey, Brian.
Yeah.
How is everybody today?
Brian's chilling right now. He's on a whole other level. I'm trying to get where he is. But yeah, but you can find us all on X. I'm the real Roma _AK. Biddy, we got Elizabeth 213A, and then Brian Tidwell 1. All three of us on X. We also got our Discord that's open to the public. We're currently looking for like-minded individuals to join the Roman Nation and Sunset Rants team. If you think that you've got what it takes to be a researcher, producer, creator of content, this is the place where you can volunteer to help make that happen, because I believe everyone should have the ability to spread the word in this post-cancel culture.
Let's go.
Let's go. So also, we've got our website. If I pull that up, please. There it is.
Show it to me.
All right. And this is where Sunset Rants is part of the Rise of Middle America Network, where you can see our most recent content, news, rants, and deep dives, as well as up-and-coming events that you don't want to miss. So if you want more breaking news stories that you have, or on-the-ground coverage of events happening here in America, we have a link at the bottom of the page where you can make a monetary contribution to help us create content for all our viewers. So, like, comment, and subscribe, spirit fingers, and help us push this post-cancel culture society to the next level. You guys ready?
Yes, let's go. I'm like ready to run a race right now.
Let's do it.
Got me hype.
All right, so let's go ahead and start off here. And this is Hawaii news now. Images of FEMA workers at luxury Maui hotels stir anger, but the agency says there is a job to do. Let's see what we got. Pain and suffering has turned to anger for some residents after national news reports showed FEMA workers staying at luxury hotels on Maui. FEMA booked themselves into 5-star luxury resorts. And the photos appear to show FEMA workers relaxing in luxury resorts at the cocktail bar. Another photo shows FEMA workers on their laptops in the Fairmount Kealani. Let's see. Is there photos here? No, there's not. They lied to us. Totally lied to us. All right. So one resident, Dustin Kaleupu, lost his home in the Lana fire. So they're seeing the government employees or government volunteers staying in these luxury accommodations being funded by the taxpayers. That's where the frustration comes from. He's like, what else did he say? Personnel staying in rooms of $1,000 a night are not true. FEMA is paying hotel the government rate of $345. So what do you guys think?
This goes into, kind of the theme of the evening, outrage. Hawaii is a very traditionally blue state, so blue to the point, if you look at national presidential polling, even if you go to Poly Market, all they do, they all just automatically, okay, Hawaii's going to go blue, but guess what? For 8 terms, at least half of the people of Hawaii were down with Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi is now on Team Trump. And this whole Maui fire situation, how many pissed off people are there in Hawaii? How many people in Hawaii are happy with the Biden-Harris administration FEMA response to their very real need for assistance?
Exactly.
I gotta believe those people are pissed off. So on my outrage map, I will flip Hawaii red to blue or blue to red based on outrage.
Nice. Yeah, because
I think Hawaii is being underpolled because of traditional assumptions.
Yep.
Beautiful. Yeah. Obviously, this is the outrage portion on this side because this is outrage versus interference. Okay. What we're doing is we're not talking about the hard blues and the hard reds of large populations that are just not going to flip. All right. We're talking about small states now that you never would have thought would have had the opportunity to flip 4 years ago. But now, with all the outrage and politics and things happening in those inner cities, there is a possibility for that wave. Now, we were supposed to have a red wave 2020, never happened. But this time, I mean, there's been enough outrage throughout the last 4 years to flip this entire country red.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, right? Also, Hawaii has people that have lived there for generations. This is their homeland. This is almost like its own country, where they have roots that go back, like, I don't know, millennia, like 30 generations and whatnot. So you're not just talking about people that fluctuate constantly in and out of California and New York and all this other stuff. You're talking about people that have planted their family's roots into their land, and it was swooped away in one failed tragedy, and then they were basically pooped on by the government by giving them absolutely nothing while sending all this money overseas. And then you think about people that were trying to offer them money, because that was happening a ton too, to buy up their land, instead of saying, here, we need to help you so you can rebuild your homes on your land. We're going to come in and offer you money because we know you need it, and now we're going to own that land. There's a lot of that went down, and people may have forgotten because of so much that's happened, but those people definitely did not forget.
Oh, absolutely. And especially, coming in at the worst possible time where you think you've lost family members, you've lost children, you've lost property. And then out of nowhere, they're like, we understand that. But how's about $50,000 and then you can take your happy ass over there. Like, that's literally what they did.
That's right.
So I'd be pretty outraged too. And there's not really much fuckery that I know about in that state. But
I mean, because fuckery not needed, because it's assumed it's assumed they're a safe blue state. But because there's no fuckery going on and there's enough outrage, and now that Tulsi is on Team Trump, that might be enough. That might be enough to flip those 4 or 6 or whatever EVs from Hawaii from blue to red.
Yeah. And you're talking about a 20-point swing too. But it takes a disaster like that to get a swing going on. I mean, look at what happened in 1984.
Okay, 20-point swing, but when's the last time Hawaii was polled? No one is polling Hawaii.
That's correct.
That's crazy.
Well, let's move on to our second outrage state. This is Portland, Oregon. Oh, you guys didn't see that coming, did you?
Nope, bet not.
I wonder why. Let's see. Officers resign from Portland, Oregon protest response unit. Whoa. That's from the AP. Let's get into this story. Let's see. A team of 50 police officers who serve on a specialized crowd control unit in Oregon in response to Portland's ongoing, often violent protests have resigned en masse after a team member was indicted on criminal charges. During a Wednesday night meeting, officers, detectives, and sergeants on the rapid response team voted to resign from the team because of a perceived lack of support from City Hall and the district attorney over the past year, according to the mayor's office and officers. I can tell you that's been going on for way more than a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. The move by the officers to disband their own team came a day after Officer Cody Budworth was indicted and accused of fourth-degree assault stemming from a baton strike against protester last summer. Quote, I don't think it's just an indictment that caused this to happen. I think it's a very long, complicated history of things that have gone on in the last 14 months, acting Portland Police Chief Chris Davis said. Now, this is the police chief saying this. That's the guy at the top. Like, this is interesting.
Yeah, like you can only, for lack of a better word, in metaphorical terms, you can only beat somebody over the head enough before they say, hey, listen, all right, I know we have you have some kind of overarching thing that you're trying to push here, but at the same time, now you're messing with my livelihood, with my life. I'm not going to put my life on the line knowing that I can get hit over here by a criminal and then hit by you and put in jail, basically backing you up against a wall. It's not going to work forever. And they were, like you said, this has been going on for way longer than a year. So they held out pretty long.
That's right, because this is defund the police at work,
right?
Because you got to remember when these guys go out into these riots, you have no idea what anybody has. And typically, you don't come out with guns drawn. You come out with riot shields. You come out with batons. Why do you think they have them?
Right.
If their job was just to sit there and play patty cake, they wouldn't have batons.
Right. These are approved materials. They didn't just bring it from their home, show and tell status. This is approved. There's a riot. There's a protest going on that looks like it's getting a little too heated. Go into that room and grab your gear and let's go, and the gear's there ready.
Yeah, and it's hard to plan for those too because typically riots, there's no one particular area that it happens. It starts in a particular area, but then it just spreads all over the place. And you kind of their job is to go to the worst possible place or to protect certain things like government buildings, offices, courthouses, things like that. Their job is to protect those while they, run amok.
Right.
Think about this. The Portland mayor, refused to mobilize SWAT units or whatever to keep it under control. The Oregon Anyway, the governor refused to mobilize National Guard. Trump offered to, hey, I will put your National Guard under federal orders, and still they refused.
And if you're in there and you're thinking the cavalry's coming and then you find out they're not.
The cavalry ain't coming.
Mm-hmm.
No, absolutely not.
Because remember, at this, we have an insurrection, but it's a local insurrection. Should be a National Guard issue. The governor refuses his duty to send in the National Guard, aka the militia. The president of the United States says, "Hey, governor, I think you got a problem going on here. I'll put your National Guard under federal orders. You don't even have to pay for it. We'll pay for it at the federal level when they're on federal orders. And even then, and Trump gets blamed for it somehow. People see through this shit.
Yeah. It's like resolution, silver platter. Hello.
Exactly. And once again, like, they're usually dealing with situations that are like 100 to 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like 100 protesters or rioters or whatnot to every one police officer. So, if they really wanted to, they could all surround them and create absolute havoc out there, knowing that these people could get hurt. I mean, let's look at May 29th, 2020.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yep.
All these officers hurt and not a peep from the media. Not a peep.
Yep. It's kind of like that thing, like if a tree falls in the forest. What's that saying? And you're not there. Did it really happen? Did you really hear it? It's like, if it's not on mainstream media, then it's a non-issue. There's stuff that's going on all over the nation that's not being highlighted because they pick two stories that follow the agenda and they hammer it and hammer it and hammer it. And they use up all their screen time to send it home.
Or it's, if a tree falls in the forest, why is it Trump's fault?
Well, I mean, Biddy, not to derail, but I mean, since Thursday ever since Trump announced the rally at MSG, what has CNN, what has frickin' MSNBC, ABC, what have all those? Are we going out to YouTube? Okay, yeah, we're going out to YouTube. So what have all those fine bastions of media done? Oh, well, you know what? So, 89 years ago, the American Nazi Party held a rally in the same venue. Well, actually, it wasn't the same venue. It's a different venue, same location, address, but it's a different building. And oh, by the way, that same building is where Bill Clinton received his nomination for president. So shut the fuck up, motherfuckers.
Oh, whoa! Mic drop!
I'm sorry.
No, yeah, but you're absolutely right. But they bank on people not looking this stuff up. So they just know that they can throw things out into the ether and get a response.
Exactly. Just like this young stud over here. I don't know who this Roman Nation dude is, but Trump was born with hair. So was Hitler. The similarities are uncanny. Isn't it crazy that someone cut their hair as well? What lies in store for the future of America?
I mean, for real though. Yeah, it's wild, man. And I can't believe people fall for it. Like, I can't believe people just are like allowing themselves to get played. I'm like a broken record when I say that, but you're just getting played and you're allowing it. It's crazy.
Okay, whatever you. I tried my best, but it's time to move on. All right, This is from PennLive.com. Amish raw milk farmer in Central PA loses bid to stay in business without permits. What do we pay the government for?
And this is why the Amish are signing up in numbers never recorded before to vote and are showing up to early vote in Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Scott Pressler.
Yes, right. He knew.
I'm going to call out Scott Pressler on every single show until he comes on.
Yeah. I mean, listen, like, give that man his flowers, bro, because he saw it. He knew where he needed to be. He knew that this is the spot that was going to make or break this election, and he went out there. He freaking moved out there, you know. And until recently, because I think that they actually did finally give him his whip, his car.
I mean,
You know, like he finally got his truck. But for a minute, he was putting around, just like making it happen. You know, so, I mean, give that man his flowers.
I mean, God bless you, Biddy, for the silver lining of the dark clouds coming up.
All right, so let's go ahead and continue with this. So from Pennsylvania, another outrage state. It also had some shenanigans as well, but I think there's a little bit more outrage now. Lancaster County farmer can't sell raw milk products until at least starts the process of applying for the required permits, a Lancaster County judge ruled Friday. The decision comes the day after lawyer for Amos Miller argued the state has no right to shut him down and promised to eventually prove it in court. The state had obtained an injunction to prevent Miller from selling raw milk products after he said that 2 out of the state residents became sick after consuming raw milk products from Miller's farm in Lancaster County. A subsequent inspection of the farm found bacteria-tainted products and unsanitary conditions. During a hearing on Thursday, a lawyer for Miller, who is Amish, said Miller will go out of business if the injunction is allowed to continue. Judge Thomas Spoonagle seemed moved by argument and also by a pledge that Miller was willing to work with the state. He ended the hearing and met privately with Miller and lawyers in the state attorney general's office, seemingly in the hope to find a viable path forward for Miller. Why? Why would you go after the Amish? They don't go after anybody.
And it's like, why do we need all this government overreach? Like, who asked you? Like, if I want to go there knowing that they're not regulated by this, like if I want to go into a restaurant that doesn't have the A, B, C, and D on it, whatever, that's my prerogative. If the restaurant has a D on it and I still go in there, then it's on me. I don't need you to tell me. So why do you have to regulate this guy's whole production? If people know that what they're selling is raw, it's unprocessed, it's all these things, they're going there in spite of that. Let them do it. They assume
the risk. They assume the risk.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I mean, this is just one of those cases of not just overreach, but like, there's too many laws.
Yeah.
There's way too many laws, way too many regulations. And not only that, but this is from the state, right? The state courts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is all state overreach, but I mean, it's not. The only reason the FDA hasn't stepped in because this is all local. The FDA can only step in if they're selling that state they're selling their product across state lines.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're going into the state appeals court. But like, why can't you opt out of being like, cleared by the government? Like, why can't you just opt out of it? And then you can have a sticker that says we haven't been cleared or approved by the government. And then if people still decide to go, that's their prerogative. Like, yeah, exactly. Why not?
Yeah. So
that's a libertarian argument there, Biddy. And liberty is dangerous, and we can't let people encounter danger. Okay.
Got it.
We want to be safe. We want to be welcoming. We can't let people have a chance to hurt themselves.
Right. We have to protect. We have to mother and father everybody.
Everyone. Mm-hmm. Everybody's got to be coddled. All
Big
right.
Daddy government. Yeah.
Those are all of our outrage states. And so we decided that we were going to put together a collective map of all the outrage. So if they are an outrage state for any way, reason, shape, or form, they are in pink. So without further ado, this is the outrage map.
I love it.
All right.
Wow.
So you got the police in Oregon. You've got that thing in Nevada with all of the votes can be the mail-in votes can be counted 3 days past.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Arizona, we all know what happened in 2020 in Arizona, right?
Mm-hmm.
We all know what happened in 2020 in Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, next week, I hope you guys are ready for a treat. Or this Saturday's Roman Nation on 2020 election interference.
Oh,
Second
yes.
version of Constitutional Corner, which we're going to go over all of the fraud state by state.
You better stretch.
I hope you guys are ready because this is going to be a long-ass episode. All right. Then we've got North Carolina.
I might have to start drinking hard liquor again.
Oh, man, these guys. Then you've got North Carolina. Okay, North Carolina, we know what's going on in Western North Carolina with, it was a Hurricane Milton? No, it wasn't Hurricane Milton, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Hurricane Milton and a lot of the stuff that's going on over there. Then we've got Virginia, which is my dark horse. All right. Ever since the ruling that they had to go back to paper ballots, I am telling you, watch Virginia. This is going to be a very interesting state, to say the least. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, we've got Pennsylvania.
Scott,
the Amish.
Yeah, the Amish.
Yes, raw butter and milk. Yes, and then New Hampshire for some reason. I don't remember the reason.
No. I threw that in there for a bleed over from Crusaders.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
and then you got Hawaii down there. Woohoo!
Yeah, that's right. I almost forgot about Hawaii.
No. I threw Maui in there because Maui. You know, yeah.
All right. Wouldn't that be one hell of a map? That happened.
That'd be a hell of a map. It's kind of a crack map.
All right. Now we're going to move from Outrage to fucking
to the
get started. This is from the Post-Millennial. Ballot boxes set on fire in Portland in neighboring city of Vancouver. Oh man, this is the video that we saw right before the show started. And is this the November surprise? I mean, could you imagine I don't want to imagine. I mean, I want to give anybody any ideas, but this widespread across the country.
Okay, so I will admit this one was a little clickbaity because I'm pretty sure this one has more to do to a congressional election than it does to the presidential election. But it's emblematic of a lot of shit that's going on because you've seen similar shit going on in Phoenix where ballot boxes have been fucked with, where mailboxes have been fucked with. It might be what you think it is, or it might be something else.
Yes. And thank you, Aaron. It was Hurricane Helene.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I was like, Milton. I don't think it was Milton. I know Milton because it was like through my family, and I had to like track it in my head. Anyways,
yeah.
So let's move on. It says ballot box in Portland, Oregon, and the neighboring city of Vancouver, Washington, were set ablaze in the early hours of Monday morning, coming to just over a week before the presidential election. The Portland ballot box was located on the 1000 block of Southeast Morrison Street, with officers responding to the reports of the fire about 3:30 a.m. Monday. By the time the officers arrived, security personnel working the area had extinguished the fire, the Portland Police Bureau said in a press release. Officers determined that the incendiary device had been placed inside the ballot box to set fire. The Bureau's explosive disposal unit cleared the device. The status of the ballots inside the box is currently unknown. Really?
And you know,
I need to show you again.
Yeah, go ahead.
Unknown. That looks like me gardening on a Saturday morning.
And the fact that they think that they even have to do this in Portland says a lot.
Yeah, exactly. So is this going to be another surprise? Because I mean, this could be a real potential problem heading into the future.
So, this might be a dumb question, and it probably is going to come off dumb, but, the ballot boxes, are there red and blue? There's like red ones and blue ones?
Well, there's ones over here. The ones over here by me are white.
Okay.
And they're much bigger than that. Like, those probably hold like a couple hundred. Ours hold thousands. Like,
Okay.
they can get up to like 3,000-4,000 pounds.
Oh, wow. Okay, because I was wondering if they had like, here's for the, the red votes, here's for the blue votes. Like, why would they do that? Why don't they just have it like one neutral colored box and have everybody throw it in there so you wouldn't know which is which?
Or how about we get rid of ballot boxes?
Yeah, that too.
How about here's a radical idea. Let's have an election day where you show up at your assigned polling place. You're assigned a paper ballot. Once they verified your ID, that you're authorized to vote at this polling location, and you mark your paper ballot, which gets counted by real humans. Yeah, I'm ranting a little bit. Sorry.
No, and then you have like the people in the neighborhood, get a job real quick and do the counting, and it's a novel idea, Brian, but it could work. Or
every neighborhood can have their own place. Everybody would vote in like 2 hours. Boom, you're all set.
Yep. Yeah, I used to have one like right down the block from me. Now, they've gotten rid of a lot of areas around here, and a lot of these places closed during the pandemic. So, they never reopened. And one of the places that was right down the block from me. But yeah, it just seems crazy that we've done it for so long, and now all of a sudden it's a problem. Now all of a sudden, since after we had they had like a crisis where they had to usher this new thing, it's like they usher it in, and then as soon as crisis over rather, they never go back. They keep it.
Exactly.
And that's what happens every time.
Well, that's what happened to a lot of places after COVID.
Yeah.
Especially a lot of like mom and pop shops and things. But that's for a whole other
I know. I felt myself going onto a tangent. I was like, all right, let me reel it back in. But yeah.
All right. So, fuckery state number 2. Fraud found among 2,500 voter registration forms submitted en masse in PA County. Police in the 2024 battleground state of Pennsylvania are investigating some 2,500 voter registration forms that were submitted in 2 massive batches. And investigators say that 60% of the forms they checked so far are fraudulent. Right. All the ballots were submitted in Lancaster County, but 2 other counties were scrutinizing similarly suspect batches. While officials say it's the work of a large-scale canvassing operation, they're not yet said who's behind it. The roughly 2,500 applications landed at or near Pennsylvania's October 21st registration deadline. Some observers are speculating that the timing may have been tactical, with the intent of exploiting time-pressure administrators would be under ahead of the November 5th election day. However, as they examined the massive heap of forms, application processors were immediately alarmed by what they saw. 1. Multiple applications with the same handwriting and signatures. 2. Many forms filled out the same day. 3. Applications for previously registered voters whose signatures on the forms did not match the ones on file. So, I have a sneaky suspicion that they're going to try to push this on a particular individual that we talked about earlier in the show.
It's weird because, like, I think that we even said this in other shows, right? We talked about this, where it was kind of like they're going to allow Trump to get the votes that he's getting, And then they're setting up a foundation so that way after the fact, they can have the entire term talking about how it was rigged and, and then, go after all of these instances that they have reported now and are stacking up.
Right. And on top of that, where are they getting these ballots from? That's what I want to know, because this is supposed to be a free and fair election, and it's supposed to be one of the most secure elections. How does 2,500 ballots just appear out of thin air?
Yeah.
Brian, you got something for us?
Oh, wait, he's having a little bit of technical difficulties.
Can't hear him.
Yeah. It seems to me like it should be an easy math problem. How many registered voters do you have in your precinct?
Mm-hmm.
You print up the number of ballots that you need that matches the number of registered voters in your precinct.
Mm-hmm.
That's
it.
Yeah.
That's it. Simple math.
But and that's why, it goes back to what you were saying earlier, Brian, right? Like, this can all be done on one day. They're making it more complicated than it has to be. Why?
The only reason to overcomplicate it is to cheat it.
Because everybody deserves a vote. Whether you're registered, not registered, illegal alien, illegal, non-illegal. Let's go. I don't understand it. Let's move on to the third. What do we got here? What's it? TSL HC or H Cox? All right. Absolute paper counted by real humans on video to be distributed by anybody who wants public information. Hey.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Why not? Why wouldn't you want that? It's not like it's a changing room. You're in there. You're in there doing work for your state, for your county, to elect the highest office in the land. Why shouldn't it be recorded? I'm monitored and recorded when at my job, like, all the time.
All right. So if you thought that fuckery was going to stop,
oh goodness.
Oh no, more fuckeries afoot.
Here we go from the Gateway Pundit. Oh my God. James O'Keefe releases undercover tape again of Maricopa election trainers admit poll workers cannot stop third-party ballot harvesting. It's not our job to police that.
Then whose job is it?
You can't even make it up.
I know I'm wearing this badge. I know I have this gun, but it's not my job to police the area.
Oh.
Let's see what they got. Maricopa County is once again in the spotlight as explosive undercover footage from O'Keefe Media Group, OMG, surfaces, capturing Maricopa County election trainers instructing poll workers to overlook potential ballot harvesting. The video features Maricopa election trainer Amy Bricker, who told undercover journalists that poll workers should not intervene and if they witness suspected ballot harvesting. Quote, as a poll worker, it is not your responsibility to police that. We're not any type of law enforcement, she says, clarifying that it's the poll workers' duty to challenge potential election law violations. Is there a video here? Let's take a look.
I had one question about drop-off ballots. Are we allowed to say anything? Because it is a felony for people to turn in ballots outside their home.
No. Just 2 weeks away from the presidential election, we are inside recording the trainings. We take you inside Maricopa County, Arizona, where election trainings are now in full swing. Meet Amy Bricker. She's an election trainer for Maricopa County. She says if poll workers spot ballot harvesting activity, it is not their job to police that illegal activity. Check this out.
As a poll worker, it's not your responsibility to police that. We're not any type of law enforcement.
During yet another election poll watching training session at Maricopa County's election office, Another citizen journalist discovered that federal agents from the DOJ will be inside those election centers. Again, all of this recorded by volunteers, citizen journalists, and poll watchers there in Arizona.
What would be some reasons why the Department of Justice would need to show up at your poll center?
They could be following up on a lawsuit or just coming to monitor things for this election.
Wow.
Oh, so yeah, that's how they'll cover up the still.
Were they there in 2020?
I don't think they were.
2016?
You know, I mean, so when we get into this, outrage versus fuckery game, Arizona's going to be weird because even though we already know there's a lot of fuckery going on, because we know the fuckery is going on, we're watching it. So is that a place where outrage, because we're watching, counterbalances the fuckery? Shut up, Rick.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I had to flip the script on him.
That's right. No, but this is wild because, like, so then what are you even good for then? You want them to replace you with computers. You want them to replace you with policing the area and making sure everything is going right. What's the point of you being there why are you trying to make the case for you not being needed as a poll watcher, as a poll worker? Despite let's not even get into the fact that this whole thing is getting, screwed over, and, we're going to have a problems with our counting and, the safety of our election. But it's just, why are you making the case so hard for that? It's just wild to me.
Well, it's because it's all smoke and mirrors.
Mm-hmm.
If you have enough things going on at once, they think that you're the one that's not going to get caught if something goes wrong and you do nothing about it.
Right.
Or if you decide to do something nefarious, it's going to be much harder to find because you wouldn't even know where to start first.
Do you think that a lot of these people, just giving this some benefit of the doubt stuff, everything that went down in 2020 and people coming forward, with their allegations and everything and stuff like that, and, what they went through and, getting worried about getting in trouble
Mm-hmm.
for bringing certain things to light that, was argued in court to not be correct or whatever. Do you think that might have scared people away from doing their full job? Like, maybe that's why she said, that's not our job, kind of thing. She doesn't even want to go there.
Well, also because if you look at some of the election workers that did get caught, but also didn't face any criminal charges or anything like that,
Mm-hmm.
it's just much better to not just to ignore and to keep yourself out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't want to be you don't want to be that one person that flips the election. Because
Mm-hmm.
No.
you do not. I don't want to be that person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whether it goes one way or the other, it doesn't matter. Because you won't just be public enemy number one. You would have to flee the country.
Yeah, you have to worry about people doxing you and whatnot. Yep.
Yeah, doxing you. What if you have a family? God
Okay.
forbid. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Of the three of us here, there's only one of us whose vote might influence the election. I live in Kentucky. It's going to go Trump no matter what. Roma, you live in Maryland. Maryland is, I'm sorry. No matter how you vote, it's not going to matter.
DC senior.
But Biddy, from what I'm seeing, what I saw last night
Yes.
from that rally,
Yes. I'm so
New
proud.
I'm thinking New York might flip.
It's a big possibility. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, because for a while it's been New York State, like upper state. It's just the city that's blue.
I mean, a week ago, I was asking Roma what he was taking because he thought Virginia might flip, and I'm on that bandwagon now. I think Virginia's sleeping. I think Virginia might slip, but tonight or after last night, because I know basically the entire state of New York follows Manhattan, and that event in Manhattan last night, I'm thinking, is it possible? Is it possible? I think it might be.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, take fuckery out of the equation. I think New York might be a swing state.
It's very possible because I live here, right? I see, and I hear what people have talked about during the Trump administration, after the Trump administration, after getting after him getting demonized so hard. And I hear the conversations and the people whispering that they're still voting for Trump. People are actually walking around with their MAGA hats now in the city. Don't give a what. When I went to that rally, yeah, and which it should be. It's like we're supposed to be the roughest, toughest. Like, are you kidding me? You guys feel some type of way? Like, are you getting soft? You aren't gonna go out there and wear your hat. So and then when I went to the rally in the South Bronx, that's when I knew, and I seen everybody from the area because I'm from the area. I seen people there and they were all shouting. The kids were excited. Like, everybody was like praying for Trump. Like, and I'm just like, wow. I'm like, this is wild. They really might just do it this year.
Right. Well, speaking of fuckery and adding it back in, let's look at the fuckery map.
Hey!
All right. So if fuckery has its way, this will be the election, at least from the fuckery standards. But anyways, but yeah, so you've got, let's see, obviously Hawaii will stay blue, but we're not talking about that. Oregon this is going to be a very interesting race because this will probably be the last time the state of Oregon will look like this. Because Eastern Oregon is like, we are out of here. They're gonna play Texas. They take a page out of their book.
Yeah, like, didn't they want to attach to Idaho at some point? They were petitioning for that.
Be called Greater Idaho, or at least become their own state. But what's crazy is that if you get enough votes to do that, could you imagine how pissed off Portland would be?
Yeah, they'll be like, "Where are all our taxes?"
Yeah, right.
We can't just run around with our masks on and waving our flags and yelling and screaming all day. We actually have to get jobs now, man.
The sad part is this fuckery map could get worse.
Yeah, it could. It totally could. I mean, you're talking. I mean, Ohio, I think, is pretty safe now, but we can flip Virginia.
Fuckery could flip Texas.
Oh, I don't even want to. I don't know. After the ruling that they had for the from the Fifth Circuit, I think Texas is safe. I think Texas is safe now because they're not. Even if they tried to, they wouldn't have enough time to get enough votes out there to do that. Not saying it's happening, allegedly. Remember that episode? Allegedly.
But they saw a problem and they've been working hard to get it fixed. For this election. Let's just put it that way.
All right. So, with further ado, let's play around with this, shall we?
Okay.
All right. So, those of you that are in our audience,
my favorite pastime.
I know, right? Those of you that are in the audience, if you are on our YouTube chat or our X chat, you can play along. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a vote each of what we think each one of either the swing states, the fuckery states. Actually, what else is a swing state? I think I got them all.
No,
Either
yeah,
a
that's
swing
a good
state,
map for the swing states. Yeah.
yeah. So a swing states, fuckery states, or outrage states. All right, and we're going to go in one direction or the other based off of all of our votes. Now, I get a vote. Ryan gets a vote. Biddy gets a vote, and then whichever the majority numbers are in the audience are going to get that vote for that state. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
All right.
I'm down.
Let's go ahead and start with the Oahu state. I think that's what it is.
Oahu.
Hawaii.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
Now,
Whatever.
Now,
Yeah.
now I can't think of it now.
exactly.
Aloha.
Aloha
Aloha.
state.
There you go.
Yeah.
No, it's
Where the
okay.
hell did I get Oahu from? You know what?
I don't know, but
See
then
you
for a
guys later.
second I was I had a total brain freeze. I'm like, wait, I don't know anymore.
Exactly. Aloha. Thank you, Aaron.
Thank
All
you.
right.
It's
So
our
from
state
the
right today.
Aloha,
Say, yeah.
right. All right. So the Aloha state. So, Biddy, you go first, then Brian, then me, then we'll ask the audience.
Oh, come on. I knew I was going to have to go first. All right. So I have to pick a state and then vote whether I think it's going to flip.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, but like, I'm going to have to go with the Aloha state because I think it's going to flip red.
Why so?
Because of everything that happened with Maui and Lahaina and the people, even the people that moved there, they moved there because they cherish the place and the people and the culture. So a lot of the people that even they're wealthy that you would think, okay, they're wealthy, maybe they're in the liberal side or whatever, they're gonna probably side with the natives, with the people that are from there and that have been hurt so bad, like Hawaii Real Estate, who is not from there, but he's been a big champion. So yes, I think Hawaii might actually go red.
All right, Brian, your choice.
Well, I agree with Elizabeth for different reasons. Well, similar but different. Tulsi Gabbard, Hawaii has two U.S. House of Representatives. Tulsi Gabbard was one of those for, I think she sat in there 3 terms, 6 years, 8 years, whatever. So that means that that at least half of the state is down with Tulsi.
Okay.
And,
she's their sweetheart.
and then when you add in the outrage factor from the Maui fires, I think that tips the scale. That's why I would put Hawaii as the sleeper flip state, red to blue, or blue to red on my map.
All right. Looks like that's 2-0. All right. And for some reason we tie. Treebeard is going to be our deciding vote. As he's, I can see him looking at me right now on the screen, like no. Oh man! All
we
right.
need foreign interference.
Exactly. So before I say mine, everybody in the audience, if you think it's going to flip red, give me a 1. If you think it's going to stay blue, give me a 2.
Come on, guys. Come on.
All right. So I also believe that this is an outrage state. I do believe that Maui is going to tip the scales, but I don't think there's enough time that has gone by to see what type of damage that it's done. So though I think that 65% is no longer going to be 65%, and no longer going to be safe, I don't think there's enough people and enough time for that to flip over in the other direction. It's going to be close. I think it's going to be something like 54-46 now. In favor of the Democrats. So I'm actually going to say it's going to stay blue. Now,
Boo.
Blue to red because the Oprah effect. She became more effective than Weight Watchers in trimming numbers off the scale.
God bless you, Aaron.
Oh my gosh, Aaron! We gotta get her a stand-up. I'm telling you, man. We gotta do a stand-up show or something.
Aaron for the win. All right. Well, it looks like I'm by myself because I don't see. Is there anybody else in the chat? Those of you guys on X, jump into the X chat. Do it because I want you guys to participate. Let's have fun. All right. So it looks like Hawaii's going red.
All right, let's do it.
Awesome. All right, let's move on to Oregon. Now, in Oregon, it's either one or the other. It's kind of a toss-up now because not only did you have the issues with the riot police, and I'm going to tell you right now, if the riot police disappear out of Portland, y'all are going to be hurting really bad. Like really, really bad. But you also have the votes that are getting the vote box to drop the ballot boxes that are being to a crisp. I mean, I'm going to go ahead and say that I think Portland really only needed about 17% swing in order to turn. You know what? I agree. It's going red.
Whoa!
I think Oregon's going to go red.
I mean,
I'm glad this is recorded because I'm going to look like a doofus next week.
I keep thinking about that. I'm like, but I'm praying. Like, I hope. You know what I mean? Like, this is all speculation. Yeah. Thanks, brave producer that doesn't want to come up. You have something to say.
I mean, here's the thing about Oregon. It's like Hawaii. It's not being polled. And there's so much shit that has gone wrong in Oregon. There's a lot of pissed off folks there because when that shit got, it was under Trump's administration, but people are stupid. People have memories. And they remember, the mayor turning down the governor for sending National Guard troops. And they remember the governor refusing Trump when he said, hey, I'll nationalize your National Guard troops. So you're paying them not with state money, but federal money, and being turned down. So that's why also on my map, I will turn Oregon red for Outrage.
All right. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna take what you guys said, and I was just looking it up just because I wanted to see. So in 2020, right, Joe Biden got 1.3 million votes. Donald Trump got 958,000. And then some change added at the end for these guys. The Libertarian got 41,000. Now, let's just say
that's a lot,
right? Let's just say the Libs who did stay there, even though that state was getting pretty rowdy, that they stayed there, and now maybe they were thinking about RFK Jr. Maybe they were kind of leaning towards him.
Yeah,
maybe they were liking these folks out here. Then all of a sudden, he threw his hat into Trump's ring there. Could it be possible that Trump might gain those votes? And now we're looking at, okay, we're going to get over the $1 million hump. And then you add in what you guys said. And if you look at this map, it's crazy when you think about like how it all pans out, because it's literally all red except like maybe 7 or 8 counties. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's quite possible. So I'm going to go with you guys, and I'm going to say it's very possible that they might turn red.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is fun.
Yeah, it is fun. It'll be even funner if this actually all pans out.
All right.
Better.
Everybody in the audience, what do you think? Well, the two people that are playing.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll just play we'll just play with us and the two people in the audience are playing. There, that's 5 people, right?
Yeah. I'm telling you, I think it's hard for people on X to do the chat thing. I think that's we gotta help folks out with that because it took me a while to figure out how to get in the chat room there.
Yeah, there's a couple of steps, and it's dumb. It should just be one step. But, yeah. So basically, if you see my video, you click the black icon that has like the title of the show. You go in. If it doesn't say broadcast in your URL, then you have to click the next one again. And once you go in, it says broadcast. You're live in the broadcast with us, and that's where you can do it. So you might have to do it like click it once, you'll see it again. Click it twice, and then you'll see broadcast at the top.
Yeah, and it expands.
And then that's where the chat box will pop up. So that's how you do it.
Good stuff.
All right. So it looks like we got 2-1, so I don't even have to say anything.
I love what Rick said there.
What? I think every state that isn't red is going to flip red because you can't do that, bro. You're like changing the rules.
I love your energy, though.
That's funny. All right.
I mean,
well, it looks like Oregon is going red. All right. Now let's switch over to Nevada.
Okay.
All right, so what are we going to do about Nevada? So let's start. I'll start this one off. So you just got the court ruling that stated that they are allowed to receive mail-in voting up to 3 days after the election ends. From the Nevada State
even if the postage stamp is smudged or whatever, they're going to count them. Yeah.
Right. So, look at that. We already got a vote. So Aaron says it's going to stay the same. It's going to stay blue. All right. So we got to vote for blue. I say it's going to stay blue as well. I don't think there's enough extra voters out there or enough outrage to flip that state. And it is being spooned by California. So it's definitely going to stay blue. Brian.
It's being spooned by California.
Well, yeah. You're not going to fix California. California is lost.
Los Angeles.
Until,
Thank you. I know I'm not that funny. I'm not like Aaron status, but I try every now and again. So Nevada, man. No bueno?
Oh, Nevada?
Yeah. Like blue or red, what do you think? Do you think they have the power? Do you think they have the energy to go red, or you think they're staying blue?
Nevada, if fuckery is involved, is going to be blue.
Okay.
I don't think there's enough energy, real energy in Nevada to overcome the fuckery that's going to happen there.
No, I'm not going to switch my vote. The Spooner State.
How
about the California Cated State? All right, we're getting off track here.
Yes.
I'm gonna take a page out of Aaron's book here. There are 310,000 tipped employees in the state of Nevada. But they make enough money on their own where I don't think it really matters. Like, they can live off of the tips that they get. So trying to make that change, some of them might make a switch, but you're not switching 310,000 votes. That's just not happening.
Yeah, and then Kamala jumped, that was like the first thing I think that she's like basically bit off Trump about was the no tax on tips. So she already said like, I'll do it too.
That was completely a troll. She did that on purpose. She did that just to piss off the Trump campaign. But yeah, so we've got Nevada staying blue. All right, so what are we at right now? So we got Democrats 203, Republicans 231. All right, let's move on to Arizona, the biggest of the fuckery states. What do you think we got here, Brian?
I mean, it's hard to say. This Arizona is so fucking hard to call because everyone knows that Maricopa County is ground zero for fuckery. So everyone has eyes on Maricopa County. Does that? I mean, Arizona is traditionally a red state. You leave Arizona alone, they will vote red every time. But because, you know, the smart data guys have figured out that, hey, Arizona turns on Maricopa County, and if you can fuck with Maricopa County, you can fuck with the entire state. That's where they're at. And you already played the video, right?
Yep.
Yeah, you already played the video. Fuckery is afoot deeply in Maricopa County. So, I mean, even though they're being watched, and even though I have no data to back this up. This is a gut feeling. I think most Arizonans are Trump, not Harris.
Mm-hmm.
So
you think they're gonna it's gonna end up being blue?
All right, I'm going to take over.
I know. I feel you.
I mean, you're calling me out. Okay? I actually have a degree in political science from the highly esteemed, College of Oklahoma State University.
Go Pokes.
Go Pokes, which is actually better known for its rodeo team than its academic college. But I'm looking at all the tea leaves. I want to say Arizona's a lock for Trump, but
do you think it's possible? Because a lot of them voted for Bernie in the primaries in 2020. Do you think it's possible that they might feel a little disenfranchised because of Bernie getting kind of like pushed aside, getting kind of steamrolled?
Well, Biddy, what it feels, because I'm schooled in how presidential electoral politics comes down, and it's all about electoral college, and in its winner take all in a state like Arizona, and that is a place where the entire state can hinge on one fucking county.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at all the fuckery going on in Arizona, even though my gut tells me Arizona should go Trump. Polling, everything tells me Arizona should go Trump. But I'm looking at all the fuckery that goes on there, and I'm naturally pessimist. So, for purposes of this game, of this segment, I'm gonna say, turn it red, Roma, and let's see what goes.
Whoa! All right. I mean, listen, just to keep it short and sweet, I'm looking at my thing here from 2020. Biden won by 11,000 votes. So,
and that's the number they know they need to beat.
So yeah, and if you put into what my little speculation about maybe being disenfranchised about Bernie Sanders, it's maybe possible that it could go red. However, I am not as optimistic as I am about the other states. So I'm gonna say that we might have a blue Arizona.
I'm going blue too, and I'm with Aaron. I'm going blue, but under investigation almost immediately. The entire United States is going to be under investigation almost immediately. Like,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yes, I agree, and I think everybody agrees here that we've got that blue. All right, moving on. I'm going to save Georgia for a little bit. Let's go to North Carolina. This one's a spicy one. I think we're going to be split like hell on this one. All right,
Oh,
so I'm going
Lord.
to start North Carolina. Okay, so we've got, I don't know. I feel like with the scarcity of population in Western Carolina, I don't think it's going to make a difference from last election to this one, only because that's the one area of the country, or at least in that, not the country, but in the state, in which, that's what makes it a swing state.
Mm-hmm.
That area makes it a swing state, and now it's, under mud and water and broken trees and houses gone and institutions gone. Like, that was the only part of the state that did that. And I don't know what they have in store for all the people that lived in the Appalachians and how they're going to help them. There's still people that are missing they can't find. So they're not thinking about the election right now. They're thinking about, how am I going to get my property back? If I do, like, where am I going to sit? Where am I going to eat? Like, do I have to get a, like, there's a bunch of things that are happening in North Carolina. So I'm saying it's going to stay blue.
Okay. Do you think?
Okay, I'm going to push back against that because there has been so much media scrutiny on North Carolina, and there has been so much, and it took him a minute, but he came around. Even North Carolina's Democrat governor finally woke up, mobilized, and you are seeing reports now of how in the western part of the state they're making the efforts are underway to make sure that the folks in that part of the state can vote and get their votes in. And it's actually good news. I think North Carolina is North Carolina is one of those places where I will say that outrage and pure American spirit will outweigh fuckery and turn it red.
Beauty. What do you got?
All right. So I was just trying to think. I was like looking around or whatever. Trump did win that by a pretty decent margin in 2020. But I'm also thinking about, like, when you think about Gen Z, right? You're thinking about like and specifically the men in Gen Z, like the ones that just got out of college, maybe been out a few years also in the job, getting their jobs together and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I have a family member who's in finance, and he was recruited to go down to North Carolina. He was brought there along with a lot of other people. So there's a lot of, Gen Z fellas and women out there, I'm sure, that are heavy into finance. They got their stuff together. They're not looking for handouts. They're not into all the woke stuff. They're very, and they moved there, a lot of them from New York, because they also were trying to leave there. So I'm wondering if that's going to also help it stay red. And then you add in the outrage, and you add in that Trump was like, first down there and all that other stuff. So I'm going to go red. I'm going to go North Carolina red.
Okay.
For those reasons. Yeah.
All right. I like it a lot. Well, you're going red. I think, Brian, you said you're going red, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm also going red. Yeah.
Yeah. I said blue. Aaron said blue. And Rick over here said red, all of them. So I guess it's going red. So. All right. So it's 247 Republicans, Democrats 214. All right. Off to Virginia. Paper ballots, percentages, red. Next.
Right.
Okay, Rummer. Yeah. DOJ challenging them on cleaning up their ballots. So you got to actually change the color on the state to move the counter.
Change the
No, Virginia. You still have ballot ground. There you go.
And just think about, because I was wondering, and then I looked it up. The Supreme Court rejects case about DOJ investigating parents who protest at school boards. So how many people are going to be a little ticked about that? Then you throw in, what you said, Roma, about the ballots and everything, and about the election in general, and other stuff, other rights that are coming, just kind of leaning a little too much on the people there that just want to be left alone and just want to do their thing.
Right.
So I feel like I'm confusing a wish with a certainty when I'm making these predictions. So I'm trying to think of it rationally, but I think red.
You think red. All right. So we've got ourselves a red state. All right, moving on to Wisconsin. We haven't heard much about Wisconsin in this upcoming election. Brian, I'm going to leave this one to you because I haven't heard jack shit.
Yeah.
Wisconsin, both campaigns have held equal amounts of rallies. I've heard, a 270 to win, I think, has consistently had Trump, with percentage of a point edge. But then you go look at if you go look at the market, poly market, Trump's edge is significant there. So Wisconsin is one of those states where they're campaigning in, but I don't think Wisconsin has a default blue base, and that's showing it. But that's a pretty dense population, so I don't think they're gonna do too much fuckery there.
Right. Yeah, and if you look at it here, so of course you got Green Bay. Green Bay is pretty based. Wow, I didn't know that. Milwaukee, Madison, and Kenosha, obviously right down there at the bottom. So it was how many votes? About 20,000 votes that decided Wisconsin.
So my vote for this one is Outrage is gonna outvote fuckery because I don't think they're gonna try too much fuckery in Wisconsin because I think they discount it.
They've kind of abandoned it. Yeah. Hence why we haven't heard much. Okay.
Well, not just that, but I don't think like Wisconsin, I don't think really matters on either side when they have Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Michigan there. I think that's just the padding on the back end.
Yeah.
So, but I also feel like the fuckery is over and it's not really much outrage either. So I think it's just it's gonna be one of the flip flop states. So last time it went blue, this time it's gonna go red.
Wisconsin's gonna be a turnout. Wisconsin's gonna be a turnout state. Yeah.
I was looking it up too, right? Because this is what I'm doing while you guys. I'm trying to see if there's any things that happened during the Biden administration term that maybe would have swayed people and said, damn, I wish I didn't vote for Biden. So I'm looking, and there were thousands that came out in protest in Wisconsin during the lockdowns, that the extended stay at home, and which was imposed by their Democratic governor.
Yeah,
exactly. All right.
So it's a possibility. I think red.
We'll make this one quick. New Hampshire, I think, is going red. I think whatever happened, it's just
New Hampshire's getting a lot of influx of red state, or not red state, but free state, libertarian types that, libertarians, you can never tell where they're going to go. They might sit home. They might just fucking sit home. And I used an F word again on a YouTube stream again. I'm sorry. But that's just, it's 4 votes. I mean, it really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, but yeah.
Sorry, New Hampshire. No, but you know what? I'm looking at the map. It's crazy. It's like a total mix. It's not like we've seen these other states. It's like a whole bunch of blue and a whole bunch of red, and all mixed around each other.
Yeah.
In New Hampshire, So it's crazy. And then Biden did win, and he won by a lot. He won like by a pretty good margin then. So I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, because he won Milwaukee, and yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. And that one's a toss up. It might stay blue. I think I might say it might go blue. But I don't really know a ton about it.
The reason
just to
why,
be a contrarian.
And Rama, I'm sorry I didn't give you a link for it, but the reason why I think Michigan might flip, actually, the reason why I think Michigan will flip was because this weekend Harris had a rally, and I think in Kalamazoo, and she was heckled in her own rally, live on stage. And Kalamazoo, Michigan, Michigan is traditionally a Democrat state. And that should be friendly territory, and she's on stage and she's getting heckled.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a good look, that's for sure.
All right, so Michigan, here's what we got here. So looks like 804, 649, so about 150,000 votes.
Whew.
A little more than 150,000 votes. That swung Michigan. But the reality is, like, Michigan's one of those hard swing states. Like 300,000 votes can swing based on what's going on.
Yep.
It really is, because, I mean, if you look up here in the north, in all these different counties, I wonder if there's a way that I can see 2020 versus 2016. Next time I'll be a little bit more prepared, and I'll get those up. But
no, there's a lot to. I mean, look. I mean, if you even look at like Trump versus Clinton, Trump got 47.6%. She got 47.4%. That it was like 9,000 more votes.
Yeah,
he won by like.
I mean, bottom line, and I think we've been beating this up for a couple weeks now. This presidential election is going to come down to turnout in a few counties in Pennsylvania, Michigan, and maybe Wisconsin.
Man, look at Wayne County there. Wayne County, 68%. But Marquette County is the only blue stain that's up here. That's because of College Town.
College Town. Yep.
College Town's there. Each one of these blues are college. Like,
well, but then you think about like Charlie Kirk and Vivek Ramaswamy and all these cats going out and doing the campus tours.
Mm-hmm.
You know, will that have an effect? Because that wasn't really going on like that during 2020. It happened over the past few years where they were really going on these tours like this.
Exactly.
I'm gonna make a predict. I'm gonna make a prediction right here, right now. And if tomorrow, and we change day to day because Sunset Rant is different day to day. But if tomorrow something changes, if we decide to do another deep dive on polls, I think we're going to see a significant swing because the impact of the interview, the Trump, not interview, the Trump discussion with Joe Rogan, it's not felt all the way yet. It will be felt tomorrow. That's when we'll see needles move on polls.
Okay.
Agreed.
Yeah.
All right. So, Michigan red.
Michigan
blue.
I don't know.
Red.
It's 150,000 votes. Like, again, this is one of the hardest swing states. And what I mean by hardest, I mean it swings the hardest.
I'm going to say red. I'm going to say red because of what we were talking about the because you pointed out that college town and what I think about the good work that all these guys are doing at Turning Point USA and all that. Yes, I'm going to say red.
I'm going to say inside the margin of error, red.
All right.
All right, but it's going to be inside the margin of error, so which means that there's probably going to be some more buffoonery with that weird-ass governor they got up there.
Yeah.
All right, down to our last two states. You knew this was going to happen. I mean, clearly, the Republicans have already won, but we're doing this for fun. So
I'm getting hot thinking about Pennsylvania, but here we go. We got to wait.
Yeah, we got to wait because we got Georgia. And remember, in Georgia, what happened in Georgia? Oh, boy. 49.5 to 49.3. 11,000 votes.
Okay.
12,000 votes.
I'm going to make my call for Georgia based on that sea of blue around Atlanta. And I think that sea of blue, that's what pushes Georgia over the edge for last time. But that sea of blue is made up of a lot of Democrat-likely voters who are professional, young, and I know I'm going on a limb here. Professional, young, black men who have Baptist and AME mamas that I'm not going to say they're going to vote for Trump, but they might stay home and not vote at all. Which means the rest of that red around Georgia will make their voice heard, and that's why. And even though we've seen this fuckery about absentee ballots and everything else, that's why I'm going to go out on a limb, and that's why I'm going to say outrage will outpace fuckery in Georgia, and I'm going to say Georgia is going to be red.
Ooh, Biddy.
Oh my goodness. I'm over here looking. Well, don't forget we had the spry Jimmy Carter. God forgive me, but he threw his vote in. So and that I'm sure inspired a lot of people. And as Harris said, if Jimmy Carter can do it, then you guys should get out and vote as well. So I don't know. She might have got some people inspired with that. But the polls, I mean, whether or not, however you feel about the polls, they're really split down the middle. And as we're looking here, it was very, very tight. So and then taking into account what you guys said. So I think and then they were also slammed with the weather, hurricanes and everything else. So I think it's very possible that they might go red. I do. I think there's been a lot of mockery. There's been a lot of like, yeah, whatever. There's been a lot of court cases, a lot of things going down there that probably got on people's wrong side, and it's very possible it might go red.
I agree. I do think it's going red. My problem is I do not trust Kemp. I do not trust him at all.
Yeah.
And I think out of all the other governors, he's the most protected.
But why? It's like so weird. Why?
Because of how much.
Like, I agree.
Of how much the White House was involved with his precincts.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to be the most protected because I think he turned a blind eye while all this was happening. And so I don't know what happened. I was just doing my job, that kind of thing.
Or I'm gonna look into it. That was definitely scripted by you know who.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's going to be close again. It's probably going to be closer than it was. It's probably going to be within about 3,000-4,000 votes, but I think it's going blue.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to definitely be tight again. But and that's why I'm like, but I feel red. But okay, that's why I feel like what you're saying though. Absolutely, it's Georgia blue because fucking.
All right. Well, we got Georgia going blue.
Okay.
All right. Finally, the very last part, and then we can all go to bed.
All right.
I'm here for it.
Pencil.
I'm really good at it.
We're doing the hard work. Oh, come on.
Lord. Oh, good Lord.
Well, we already got T-Bone's vote because he's been yelling PA's going red for a hot minute in there.
Okay.
Yes.
So
my gut tells me Pennsylvania's going red.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I look at all the work, the good hard work that Scott Pressler and his crew has been doing. They're even turning out the freaking Amish to vote. The Amish never vote. They're turning out the Amish to vote. But at the same time, well, I gave you an outline, Rama. I've got a couple links in there about how, that might turn into fuckery. Take it away.
All right. So when you look at the vote history, all right. So 2008, D plus 10, 12, D plus 5, 16, R plus 1. It's only been going in one direction. So based off of that, based off of the work that Scott Pressler is doing, and based off the 180,000 Amish that have registered to vote, 180,000. I'm not sure if it's the register or that's how many total Amish that they have. It's one of the two, but either way, that's a huge swing. What was the difference in this state? Total is.
It's up at the top, I believe. Down. Yeah, right there.
Then we're gonna flip that seat. Okay, so size of victory. I'm looking for the total. Okay, so 34, 37. So what's that about?
Come on,
80,000 votes.
Yeah, I think. Well, that's what he's saying in the chat. 80,555. He's getting it to the last point.
Okay, so there it is. So 80,555. But this is the sixth largest state in the country. So those extra votes, I mean, are going to count for something. And then of course you had Butler, Pennsylvania happen.
Yep, that was huge.
Which
and then the 2.0 rally.
Yep. Then the second rally that he had there. And they spent more time in Pennsylvania than probably all the other states combined.
Yeah, they really know. And as I told you before the show, people are getting bussed out from liberal city unions to go there to show their support. So they know that this is a make or break state. And then you got the flip-flopping with the fracking. That's not something that they take lightly in that state.
Especially in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. And then you have the whole thing, and not only has Scott Brester been going out there and getting people registered, championing for Trump, but he's also going to the election boards and making sure that things aren't getting a little hairy. He did that with Luzerne County. So, he's not even playing games when it comes to the state. Like, he's like making sure everything stays nice and neat and fair and, everything is clean.
Another thing that 270 to Win site does, they have a simulator you can play with. And, because I've got a lot of time on my hands, I spend a lot of time playing with that.
This is fun.
And what you will find if you play with that enough times is that around 90% of the time, that when the simulation predicts that who the president is, Pennsylvania agreed with the simulation. So, yeah.
Yeah, the back and forth between Aaron and Rick in the chat has got me dying over here because he's coming at his math, bro. This is great.
Yeah. Also, join Roma's Discord because you'll see this kind of conversation all the time on.
Yep. And then also don't forget to look out for the Rise of Middle America website.
Woohoo!
Where you can make your monetary contribution to help us out and get this show going 5 days a week, just like this day.
Yes.
And then,
holy crap, have we been on 2 hours now?
Yeah, we have. Well, technically,
yeah.
But yeah, so, all right. Without further ado, your votes, Biddy. Pennsylvania, blue or red?
Red. I'm manifesting that.
All right, that's 1 for red. Threat to democracy. What about you?
Red.
Red.
Amish revenge. Red.
Yes.
Amish revenge.
Raw milk revenge. Let's go.
Revenge of the Amish. Oh my God.
Yes.
Said that.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see. What do we have for Aaron? Aaron says PA is going red.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's
I want the
beautiful.
headline so bad. Kamala loses election over spilled milk.
I love it. Yes.
I'm telling you, man. She is gold. Yep.
Well, I guess you don't need my deciding vote, but I'm going to say it anyway because thank you very much to Scott Pressler and friends. PA is going red.
Let's go.
Okay,
go.
so
Let's make it happen.
What does this give us? The outrage versus fuckery map.
Outrage has won 308 to 230. Fucker.
Outrage wins.
Outrage wins, and I'm going to tell you right now, especially after 2020, and especially after all the indictments, and especially after being shot, and especially after all the storms coming through, and Maui, and all the court decisions, and the immigration, and
Joe Rogan podcast.
Joe Rogan podcast.
Yep.
There's no, I do not see a way unless there is fuckery. And I mean, we're talking like
massive fuckery.
We're talking like,
I mean, but you'd have to get sloppy AF.
Yeah, because there's no way you could do that at that big a scale and not have like more cases.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you look at the Sunset Rant model versus the 538 model versus the polymarket model, we are in line.
We are.
Really?
We are in
Oh, that's
line.
great. That's great.
No way. Are you serious?
No, pull up the polymarket model. It'll say 312 Republican. Pull up the what is it? The yeah.
The poly market. That is it this one?
Oh no, that's not the polymarket model. That's my crack model.
No, okay.
Yeah.
I think that's what we got up here. But anyways, folks, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You got us on YouTube, Rumble, and X. You can follow me on X at @therealroma_AK. You find Biddy at Elizabethy213A, and also Major B, Threat to Democracy at Brian Tidwell 1, all on X. We already got our website. We do have a Discord. Description is in the link below. On both, I believe, on YouTube and on Rumble. So if you guys join up, we're in there all the time. We're always looking for help. We also got a lot of other shows and events and plans for the future of the Roman Nation Network. So if you want to be a part of it, let us know, because these spots are filling up fast. All right. You want to be a podcast host, you want to be a researcher, you want to be an executive producer, we'll teach you how to do all that stuff. You just got to join the Discord. So,
yes.
Anyway,
this was really fun.
This was
Thank
a
you
lot
for
of
this.
fun.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this. I mean, because like we wish, but we also we're trying to be as objective as possible. We're trying to give reasons. So thank you for pushing that we give a why. Because it's important. It's important to remember things because a lot of stuff happens towards like the 11th hour, for obvious reasons, to kind of sway things one way or the other. But things have happened for the past 4 years that people still leave the stain on people. So thank you. I love it.
All right. Well, it looks like the sun has gone down. It's out to pasture. It has. So I want to thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. And
play us out, Rama.
Yep. We will see you guys tomorrow, believe it or not. So tomorrow. Yeah, that's right. So we're going 5 days a week.
Yes.
At least this week. We're gonna test it out and see.
Wipe the brow. Yeah.
Like the brow.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. This is your executive producer shitting his pants.
Exactly. All right. Well, anyways, you guys have a great night, and we will see you tomorrow. Peace.
I'm biased because I loved Biggest Dickus.
I love it.